Hello everyone, Happy New Year. Today is New Year's Eve actually, but when I post this video, it will be New Year's Day, so Happy New Year's to you. New Year? New Year's, I don't know. Anyway, as you may notice, I am on another outdoor walk today. So I know I said I would come back after that holiday video I made where I was talking about my new car and that I would continue talking about the ACOTAR book series, and I have not forgotten. But it is really such a lovely day out today. It is 61 degrees. It is windy. This is actually my ideal weather, and as a matter of fact, my husband and I talk all the time about living in Casper, Wyoming, because it is so windy there, and we just love this windy weather. I feel like I am so easily out of breath because normally when I walk, I'm on my walking pad or marching around my living room, and of course, that's all flat. And I'm out here walking up these hills. They're not even that big of hills, but I'm used to the flat life, so there's that. But I wanted to revisit something I briefly talked to you all about, because of course it's a tradition to think about your resolutions, your goals, if you will. And I may have already mentioned this specific episode of a podcast, but I know I've mentioned the podcast, The Adult Chair, several times, and I just find it to be so helpful for so many reasons. It helps me better understand myself. It helps me better understand my relationships. So anyway, but I'll look for the episode number and the title and leave it in the notes. But basically, the person who is the host of this podcast, her name is Michelle Chalfant, and she talks about saying that you're going to have intentions other than goals, and she explains the reasoning behind that in the episode, but basically a quick little summary. Like, if you have a goal and you don't meet it, sometimes you might give up because you're like, well, I didn't meet my goal. But if you intend to do something, you can intend to do it every day. And that may or may not happen, but it like softens the blow a little bit, I guess. Like, your brain just, understands words in different ways, and so saying you intend to do something, it might not be something you get to, but you intend to, and you can pick it back up right away, same day. Like maybe let's say you want to set a goal to walk every morning, and then you miss your alarm, or you spill your drink, or something happens and you don't make it, and then you're like all of a sudden you're like, well, I guess I can't walk, But if you intend to do a walk every day, maybe you want it to be in the morning, but if, life happens and you don't get to, you can still do it another part of your day. You could say that with a goal as well. Again, I recommend the episode if you want to really know the difference and more about goals and intentions. Obviously, they're basically the same thing. It's just about how you phrase it, but I thought I would share what my intentions are for 2025. And I do think I have already shared some, maybe all of them. Maybe they've evolved since I thought about them a few episodes ago, but 'tis the season, so let's get into it. So one intention I have is something I am doing right now, and that's to be outside more. So being in nature is different than it was many years ago, right? Because obviously now we have pavement and electricity and all that stuff. So I'm like thinking back to when times were much simpler, and I think nature was so important, but I still think it is. And sorry, my hair is crazy from this windy day, but I just want to be outside more. When I think back to my childhood, I spent so much time outside. And I do think a lot of people might be able to say when they were a kid they spent time outside. However, I grew up in the 90s, and so technology was just like really coming into its prime. And so as I got a little older, video games like Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation and all that came out, and I started being interested in different shows. So I did start spending more and more time inside, but I feel like it may be a little harder for these upcoming generations to say they spend a lot of time outside. I'm sure they still do. Like, I think about my children, and mostly my son more than my daughter, but he loved being outside, and sometimes he still does, even as he's approaching 16. And I don't think it's true for everyone, but I do think as we get older, unless you're really like a person who loves to be outdoors, you tend to stay indoors more. Like, you grow up, you get a job. Most jobs are indoors, not all, but anyway, I'm just trying to say, it seems like as we get older, we can lose touch with nature, and especially as technology has progressed, and I love technology, but it definitely hinders like your time outside sometimes, I think, if that makes any sense. Like, obviously I'm on technology right now, but I am taking pauses here and there to just enjoy being outdoors. But with my intention of being outside more, I would say that's mostly around wanting to be on like some outdoor walks. I'm going to plan 2 outdoor walks per week, but if I decide to do more, cool. And if not, that's fine too. And I think something about goals and intentions is you might start out the year with a plan, but you can adjust the plan as you go. So if I want to like do these 2 per week for the first like quarter, the first 3 months, and then it's going well, I can say, okay, for the next quarter, I'll add another one. So you have to remember, I think too, that your goals, your intentions, like, they're flexible. And I think that's something I've had to adapt and think about, because I'm very like black or white, not very flexible, but I want to be more flexible, and that's something I'm actually working on in therapy now. So yeah, you can change it if you need to. I also have a front porch. It's not large, it's not small. Like, there's a swing on it and 2 chairs and like plenty of room to be out there. I don't typically go very often there though, because my dogs can't come out front with me, and if they know I'm outside and they don't get to be outside, they're typically at the door barking and unhappy. So that's not something I would typically do. But I used to sit on my front porch and swing all the time as a kid, so it's something that might be nice. I do have a back deck that is covered, and I already do go out on it like daily to let my dogs go to the backyard, and particularly at lunch I'll go out and I'll just sit out there sometimes and like put my arms and legs in the sunshine so I get a little vitamin D, or we have some patio furniture out there that we got from our in-laws recently, so I'll sit on that, maybe read a book, maybe just sit there and listen to the surroundings sometimes. So I'm already getting some time outside, but it could be all kinds of different ways. Also, I have like a badminton set, and I love to play. My husband doesn't like to play as much as I do, but when the children are here, they will come out and play with me, and my mom, my brother enjoy it, so I can get my husband out there sometimes, but the weather has to be right for it. But anyway, so those are some ways that I intend to be outside this year. Another intention I have is that I want to get healthier. And that's kind of broad, so I'll break that down a little bit. I really want to focus on something I've said for years that I want to focus on, which is just eating more whole foods and less junk. Like, I don't want to say that I'm going on any kind of diet, and I don't want to say that I'm restricting any types of food. If that's something you want to do for you and that works for you, that's great. The moment my brain thinks about restricting something, I mean, it just wants it more. So to me, I'm just not even trying to set myself up for failure there. I've done some extreme things over the years. I was vegan for a few months. I was vegetarian for a few months. I cut out soda for a while. I just did a lot of things that, I mean, you can maintain anything you want to forever. Obviously, some things are harder than others, but overall it felt pretty unrealistic for me. Again, this is me. Pretty unrealistic for me to maintain that for the rest of my life. And something I've learned is whatever you're going to do to get healthy and get to a healthy weight, it's got to be something you can do forever, because of course anyone can do a fad diet or something that could be really good for you, like, kind of reset your health. But if you can't maintain it for life, or if you don't want to maintain it for life, you just notice a lot of people tend to gain their weight back, and that's definitely been me in the past, and I don't want that to happen. So already in this lovely 2024, I had worked on intuitive eating, and I got a lot of tips from the podcast Weight Loss for Busy Physicians, and she also has a book called How to Lose Weight for the Last Time, and that is something she mentions in there, is that like you're gonna have to be able to do whatever you're doing to lose this weight for life to maintain it. So basically it's like all these tips to set up your own food protocol, like what's gonna work for you, and to make sure you put items on your list that you actually like to eat. She talks about like if you don't like certain fruits, you don't like certain vegetables, don't put those on your list. You don't have to eat them. There are certainly other fruits and vegetables, other meats, other proteins, whatever it may be, that you do like. So just making sure that it's customized for you, because in the long run, it's got to be what can you do and what will make you happy. So for me, and thankfully my husband feels the same. If we didn't, that's okay. He could have done his own thing as well, but we're mostly on the same page about this. We just want to eat more whole foods, less processed. I'm not saying I'm getting rid of everything processed. For me, I know that's not going to be realistic. Maybe one day it will. Right now it is not. But learning to intuitively eat these past few months has already changed my life. I mean, have I lost a ton of weight? No. Have I lost some weight? Yes. I mean, I'm still learning to listen to my body and to understand when it actually wants food, when it actually needs to stop eating. To me, that's the bigger thing. I've gotten a lot better at noticing, I'm actually not hungry, I'm not going to eat. But I think it says it takes like 20 minutes or something, like for your body to understand if it's full or not. So I should wait more often, and I don't. So that can be something for this year as well, that I intend to listen to my body more as I'm eating my whole foods, right? So because I want to be healthier. I not get any younger, and I just want to make sure as I continue to age that I feel good. I mean, I like to look good as well, who doesn't? But I want to be able to move my body and it not hurt. I want to be able to eat food and that I enjoy, but that also makes me feel good and fuels my body and doesn't make me feel sick. And, you know, it's a lot of trial and error, I think, to figure out what's best for you. And everybody is different. So, you know, you just got to figure it out. Something else I intend to work on this year is my femininity. So growing up, I saw my mom probably put on a little perfume. She always wore earrings. I don't really see her wear earrings these days. I would watch her put on blush and mascara. I mean, most days she would do that, but it wasn't like something I saw. Like, I just didn't see her embrace her feminine side that much. She actually was born in the middle of two brothers, so she really grew up hanging out with the boys and like riding bikes and, you know, all that kind of thing. So she just has like a tomboy vibe, which is totally fine. But I was always a little more girly growing up, and I will say my grandmother was quite girly as well. Like, she always had tan skin and blonde hair and pink nails, and, you know, was always like doing a traditional housewife kind of thing with cooking and cleaning. And not that my mom didn't, but I'm just saying, I feel like I had different types of role models, and I think that's really good. But for me personally, I just want to embrace my feminine side a little more this year. So I'm already working on it. I don't really necessarily believe in waiting for the new year, like when you're ready. When you're ready, go ahead, but, you know, just solidifying them into the new year. But painting my nails, wearing some jewelry. I got some new perfume scents from Target I believe they're called Good Chemistry, and they're like non-GMO and, well, you know, about as healthy as a perfume can be, but they smell really nice, and it makes me feel girly. Also working on, like, putting my hair together. For example, it looks a little crazy today. However, I did put in some leave-in conditioner, but the wind has literally just, the wind has tortured my hair today, for sure. And so, yeah, but I guess if I'm thinking back, I never really liked my curls as I was growing up, and when my mom would give me like little trims, I would always ask her to cut my curls off. I don't know why. I feel like everybody had like really straight hair, and I wanted that too. And now that I'm older, I realize like my hair is beautiful too. You don't have to have straight hair to have beautiful hair, and I really wish I would have learned that a long time ago, but that's okay. We learn things when we learn them. So, you know, I just want to like have my hair a little more styled, and really all I mean by that is like making sure I put products in there that can help my hair stay hydrated. And because if you have curly or wavy hair, then you know it's dry, wants moisture, and I haven't done a good job of giving my hair that over the years at all times. So really earlier today my hair looked a lot better, but that's okay because I'm just hanging out at home. But that is another intention I have. It goes with femininity, but it's also about like embracing I intend to embrace my hair, and I intend to have it be like more styled so I can be a little more put together. I'm not trying to have like my makeup all done. I don't really like makeup that much, every now and then, but typically it ends up irritating my eyeballs, and then I rub it off and blah, blah, blah. But I just intend on being a little more put together in 2025, wearing some jewelry, fixing my hair a little bit, wearing my smells, wearing Like maybe like instead of just putting something on, like styling it. I actually saw this really cute video on TikTok about this girl who she like shows this outfit. She like shows you just put on clothes, then she shows like you style it, and it's just so cool. Like you just have to do a few things and then you actually have a style. So I want to work on that a little more too. And by now, because when I came home, my husband was cutting up some of the bushes in front of our house, and the Amazon truck driver came by, and a trash truck came by. I was shocked they were running today, but I know not everyone gets to be off, so I'm grateful for that. So I'm just going to wrap this up. I made it to my back deck where I said I wanted to spend more time. But something else I intend to do is read more books this year. I actually read a lot of books this year, somewhere in the like 20 to 30 range. I say that's a lot because it's been a long time since I've read that much. But I'm into book clubs, and so I have to read the books in the book clubs, but there's also books I want to read for fun. So I intend to read my book club books, but also read books for me that I want to read, that are enjoyable for me. And what I'm reading, like I think I mentioned before, Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and Onyx Storm is coming out January 2025. So here we are. Yay, I cannot wait. I was actually really upset and like, I'm not reading this book, but of course I will. And I also intend to face some fears this year and do some traveling. Not that I'm necessarily afraid to travel, but I don't love flying, and there's 2 places I'm trying to make it to this year that will require me to fly. I mean, one won't, but otherwise it'll take up way too much time. So I'm trying to make it to Wyoming this year because I've never been out west and I really want to visit. And then my friend Nancy and I are planning to take a trip to Costa Rica. I've been saying I wanted to go back there for years after I did student teaching, and I haven't made it back yet. But yeah, we're planning on this being the year, like towards probably like early summer, I guess. So I'll have to keep you posted on that. But Nancy and I are actually going to get together and make a vision board with our daughters, just so we have something to reflect back on and look at throughout the year, so we can remember what our intentions are. And I'm sure there may be more intentions. I may end up adjusting my intentions, but those are my main ones. And I just look forward to what 2025 will bring. And yeah, why don't you leave me a comment below. Let me know what are some of your intentions for 2025. Thanks for walking with me today. Bye.